Maple Leafs, they wrapped up their Western road trip last night, taking on the Winnipeg Jets.
Matthews with room, and Domi, across, Domi scores! Game winner, Max Domi!
And as you can guess, Max Domi was the hero on the night, taking the overtime winner for a 4-3 final score. Austin Matthews also found the back of the net for his 24th of the year. The Leafs back in action, taking on Minnesota next. All right, talk all things sport and maybe commiserate if he happens to be part of Bills Mafia. Let's bring in TSN's Matt Cauz. I guess to start off, Matt, are you Bills Mafia and are you sad today?
Thankfully, I am not a member of Bills Mafia. I am sad, but on a more bigger picture, I am not salty like some of those fans were at Real Sports last night. The real bummer is Josh Allen is out of the playoffs. Then on Denver's side, they lost Bo Nix in overtime to a broken ankle. So it kind of makes next week's AFC Championship game certainly a little less. It takes away some of the stakes because the stars are not in it. But overall, if you're a Bills fan, you got to be devastated. That was such a bizarre loss and such a tough one for Josh Allen.
I know it was definitely a bizarre one, and now I think, well, I'm not the biggest football fan, but when you have such an upset for a team that has, let's just say, a very passionate fan base, that could be that could leave scars for a while.
Oh, absolutely. If you're younger and you're just now a Bills fan, this is absolutely going to leave scars because they find different ways to lose. And, you know, the refs didn't call one pass interference in regulation, and there was a couple on the Denver defenders they could have done. Then in overtime, 2 pass interference penalties on the Bills players where what they did looked very similar to what the Denver player did, but there was no call. And then the interception near the end of the game, that looked like Ty goes to the receiver. Brandon Cooks coming down with that catch, and then was it a catch? And the ball ripped away. And listen, credit to the defender for Denver, you know, for being able to, you know, to come away with the ball. But just, I mean, this was operatic. This was Shakespearean, how they lose this game. And Josh Allen is brilliant. And then Josh Allen has some bad moments. And he deserves better. He deserves a better defense. He deserves better players around him than Brandon Cooks. So, yeah, I feel for Bills Mafia today.
How about, well, we aren't much of a mafia. Leafs Nation, I know that it was an interesting game, and I can definitely give credit to Max Domi there, but what were some of your takeaways watching the Buds on the ice?
Yeah, well, first, give them credit. They were down 3-1 to Winnipeg, and they were coming off a game where they blew it against Vegas on Thursday night. So credit for them for being able to rally back against a Winnipeg team that's been playing better, and they have healthy Connor Hellebuck in net, so that made it even more difficult for the Maple Leafs. What impressed me the most first goes with Austin Matthews. He scored early and then set up Max Domi. I think a lot of people expected him to shoot in overtime, but he waited, and then got it to Max Domi, and he did the thing you want to see from your captain. He made life easier for his teammates. That was an easy goal for Max Domi to score because of the play set up by Austin Matthews. Oliver Ekman-Larsson was great. Morgan bounce back game. So an important win for Toronto, considering, you know, they're on the road tomorrow night. They're playing one of the top teams in Minnesota. They have so many road games. Anytime you can come away with 2 points now is critical, as it seems like most teams in the Atlantic, beyond like Tampa, is fighting for a playoff spot.
And just thinking about where the Leafs are at right now, and you know, we're a month away, less than now, from the Olympic break. What does the next couple of weeks need to look like for the Leafs if they want to be competitive in the Atlantic Division?
What needs to happen is just more defensive responsibility that we saw when they won those 10 games in a row. And we saw it peak when they beat Colorado in Colorado. And it fell apart against Vegas. It was up and down early against Winnipeg, but just do that. It's about every player just knowing the details defensively from the forwards and the defensemen, because there is no Chris Tanev in the lineup. If the Leafs can do that, then they can absolutely get back and get into a playoff spot.
Last year we were talking about chances of winning the Cup, Matt, and that's a big difference a year makes, eh?
Yeah, oh yeah, that it doesn't feel very likely, just considering how they looked to start the year. Now, at the very least, we've seen proof of concept. That 10-game streak where they went 8-0-2, and they knocked off the Avalanche, who hadn't lost at home since early November. That stretch that proves there is a high ceiling with this team. But the problem, again, is defensively. There is no Chris Tanev. I don't know if we're going to get him back, and the Leafs are going to get him back anymore. I don't trust Morgan Riley as the number one defenseman. I think for the Maple Leafs, they can entertain us in the regular season. They're certainly good enough to win a playoff round, but to me, it doesn't feel like this team has got much more than maybe a game 5 or 6 of the second round of the playoffs, and I hope I'm horribly wrong.
High ceiling, disappointing basement. Well, we'll have to leave it there, Matt. We appreciate your time. There we go. I thought we lost you for a second. Okay, so we did lose Chris Tanev, but we still got Matt Cauz. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you.
Take care.
Take care. All right.